This is Trish MacGregor with your Star Power astrology forecast for February. There's lots of stuff going on this month. First of all, it's a Mercury retro month. But on February 1st, the full moon is in Leo. On the 13th, Saturn enters Aries. On the 17th, there's a solar eclipse in Aquarius. On February 20th, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries happens for the first time since 1703. The Mercury retro starts on February 25th Pacific time and the 26th Eastern time, and it's in Pisces. It ends on March 20th. The other date to watch for this month is the 27th, 28th, when the Mercury retro in Pisces conjuncts Venus. Okay, let's do this sign by sign now. Aries. February 1st, the full moon in fellow fire sign Leo occurs near 5th house of creativity. You may suddenly be overwhelmed with ideas and strategies that guide you into a new way of doing things. Listen to your intuition, Aries, and follow its guidance. It won't steer you wrong. Then on the 13th, Saturn enters your sign. This is one of the biggies for you in February and for the next 2.5 years. You're encouraged to take a leadership role in whatever you're doing professionally and personally. Since Saturn is a stickler about rules, be sure to follow the protocol and avoid being pushy with others. The idea here is to gain support. The solar eclipse in Aquarius on the 17th is conjunct the part of fortune and square to Uranus and Taurus. Solar eclipses are like double new moons, which means double the new opportunities. So be on the lookout for new opportunities that surface with your network or brand. It could be anything, new members, your site or brand go viral. However, Uranus and Taurus is square to this eclipse and may trigger a stubborn streak that prompts you to make decisions that go against your best interest. So be aware of this and try to see things from other perspectives. Otherwise, this could impact your income. February 20th is the day to watch. Saturn and Neptune will be conjunct in Aries at 0 degrees and 45 minutes. This should enable you to be both practical and creative in how you approach things, relationships, your professional life, your personal decisions. Pay attention to any events that happen today. If you'd like to share, I'd love to hear about your experience. Then we come to the Mercury retro in Pisces in your 12th house. This happens on the 25th if you live in Pacific time, and on the 26th if you live in Eastern time. Unresolved issues may surface. Take a close look at whatever comes up. Do you understand why they're not resolved? And follow the rule of the 3 R's until the end of the retro on March 20th. Revise, reconsider, and review. On the 27th, 28th, Mercury retrograde conjuncts Venus, and this may result in communication issues with a partner or with a creative endeavor. Taurus. The full moon in Leo on February 1st occurs in your 4th house, family, home, personal environment. This is where a situation is reaching completion. An adult child leaves to start his or her own life. An aging parent moves in, a roommate leaves, you finish renovations on your home, you get the idea right. On the 13th, Saturn enters Aries in your 12th house. For the next 2.5 years, your unconscious may demand to be recognized in some way. If you have other fire sign planets in your chart, this transit will impact them in a positive way, as their respective degrees become exact or move to within a couple of degrees of each other. Your Taurus sun preferred Pisces, a water sign that mixes nicely with your earth sign sun, but fire and earth aren't exactly compatible, Taurus, so be vigilant about your own emotions. The solar eclipse in Aquarius on the 17th takes place in your career area. It's conjunct the part of fortune, and Uranus in your sign squares it. New opportunities surface in your professional life, but be sure to look them over carefully. Do your research. If any opportunity seems too good to be true, it probably is. But buried somewhere in the opportunities is a gem. It's up to you to find and define it. Mark February 20th on your calendar. For the first time since 1703, Saturn and Neptune are conjunct in Aries at 0 degrees 45 minutes. Take note of how you feel, what your intuition is whispering to you. One thing this may bring about is a greater awareness of your own unconscious. Start journaling about your dreams, look for patterns, be alert for synchronicities. On the 25th, 26th, Mercury retro in Pisces starts in your 11th house. These retro periods of Mercury are really fun. Communication goes haywire. The world feels like it's upside down. The miscommunication now is connected to your network or brand, or how you go about achieving your dream, whatever it is. Follow the rule of the 3 R's: revise, review, and reconsider everything. On the 27th, 28th, Mercury retro in Pisces conjuncts Venus. Why does the universe allow this? The miscommunication today is with your romantic partner or with your muse. It might be wise to remain solitary today, quiet. Gemini. Since your sign and Virgo are ruled by Mercury, its retrogrades are particularly important for you, and the first one of the year starts at the end of the month. But before we get there, on the 1st, the full moon in Leo takes place in your 3rd house of communication. It probably makes you chattier than usual, especially if the conversation is about something that interests you. You and a sister or neighbor may get together for a game night, a book, or writing group. Leo and Aries are sextile to your Gemini sun, so the day should be fun. Saturn enters Aries on the 13th in your 11th house. Networks, wishes, and dreams. Saturn will be here for the next 2.5 years and will ramp up your energy in this area. You may come up with a strategy for achieving a long-held dream or sending your brand viral, or you may go into politics if that's your thing. But it urges you to follow the rules of whatever you take on. The solar eclipse in Aquarius on February 17th is the first of the year. It's conjunct a part of fortune, and Uranus and Taurus squares it. So this one brings new opportunities to delve into your spirituality, the law, grad school, or foreign travel. But the square from Uranus in your 12th house, what's behind the scenes, your unconscious, may toss a wrench into the picture, and it's a surprise. But with the part of fortune in your favor, it's not all negative. Just scrutinize the opportunities and make sure they aren't scams. The 20th is a biggie. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries happens for the first time since 1703. It should deepen your intuition, broaden your dreams, and if you follow the protocol and rules, it will provide the structure you need. Neptune takes 14 years to go through a sign, and for 2.5 of those years, it will be traveling with Saturn. But today they're conjunct at 0 degrees, so take note of what happens, how you feel. The first Mercury retro in Pisces hits on February 25th Pacific time and on the 26th in Eastern time. It occurs in your 10th house of profession and career. Ouch. Big miscommunication with colleagues, a boss, a client. Try to keep things simple, Gemini. Don't sign any contracts or change jobs. Avoid arguments. And follow the rule of the 3 R's. Revise, review, and reconsider. This retro ends on March 20th. Ugh, that seems terribly long. On the 27th, 28th, Mercury retro and Pisces conjuncts Venus. This is when your romantic relationships and creative projects go haywire. So if you can, spend the day alone doing something you enjoy. Anything, as long as it's solo. Cancer. The full moon in Leo on the 1st falls in your 2nd house, income area. These moons are often emotional and intense. If a source of income is ending, don't fret about it. Look at it as an opportunity. When one door closes, another often opens. Saturn enters Aries on the 13th, your 10th house professional area. Your money house will like this. It adds enormous energy to your career and to your potential for earning more money, but only if you follow protocol. It will be in this sign for the next 2.5 years, and once Neptune joins it, wow. But before that happens, there's an event on the 17th that deserves your attention. A solar eclipse in Aquarius on the 17th is a biggie. It happens in your 8th house on your financial axis, and that means new opportunities in terms of insurance, credit, mortgages, royalties. But Uranus and Taurus squares it, so the issue may lie with your network if you charge membership fees. Do you provide essential content that helps others? And if so, in what way? Be vigilant about the opportunities that surface. Then we come to the 20th with the Neptune-Saturn conjunction Aries at 0 degrees, 45 minutes. Your intuition kicks in big time when it comes to your career and profession, but feel your way through this and stick to the rules, whatever they are in your environment. The first Mercury retro of the year is in Pisces in your 9th house and begins on February 25th Pacific and on the 26th Eastern time. If you're traveling overseas, there may be delays, cancellations, and lots of frustrations. If you've applied to law or grad schools, there may be delays in hearing back. Don't submit anything new, take nothing for granted, and don't sign contracts. Miscommunication rules. The retro ends on March 20th. On the 27th, 28th, Mercury retro conjuncts Venus. Avoid heavy-duty conversations with a romantic partner, with your muse, and probably with everyone else too. Go solo today. Get out and do something you enjoy, where you don't have to interact with others. Leo, the full moon on the 1st lights up your personal life. These moons are often emotionally intense and reveal unresolved issues from the past. If something in your personal life is ending, it's because it's no longer in your best interest. And rest assured that as one door closes, another opens. Saturn enters fellow fire sign Aries on the 13th and remains there for the next 2.5 years. It's in your 9th house, so you probably will feel like traveling abroad or attending workshops, or maybe you'll decide to go to law or grad school. Things are going to get particularly odd when Neptune joins Saturn on the 20th. Before that conjunction happens, though, there's a solar eclipse in Aquarius in your 7th house. New opportunities surface in the partnership area, personal and business. However, Uranus in Taurus is square to this eclipse, so be sure to research these opportunities before you decide to accept or pursue anything. On the 20th, Saturn and Neptune are conjunct in Aries for the first time since 1703. This occurs in your 9th house, deepens your intuition, and also your desire to take a leadership role in some capacity. Come up with a strategy, a plan, a goal. On the 25th Pacific time and 26th Eastern time, Mercury retro begins in Pisces in your 8th house of shared resources, your financial axis. Ouch. Watch your expenses, where your money goes and for what. Be aware of your subscriptions, if they renew automatically, or billing errors. This retro doesn't end until March 20th. Pay attention and follow the rule of the 3 R's: review, revise, and reconsider. Virgo, since your sign and Gemini are ruled by Mercury, these retrograde periods are particularly important for you, and the first one of the year begins at the end of the month. But first, on February 1st, the full moon in Leo takes place in your 12th house. So with this full moon, your unconscious is illuminated. You're able to discern beliefs that may have blocked you or that facilitated your achieving what you wanted. Once you know what these beliefs are, you can work to change the ones that held you back and enhance the ones that enabled you to achieve. On the 13th, Saturn enters fire sign Aries in your 8th house, which is on your financial axis. It'll be there for 2.5 years, and on the 20th, will be joined by Neptune for the first time since 1703. The two will be at 0 degrees Aries in 45 minutes. The importance of the Aries is the beginning of the zodiac, and 0 degrees is the beginning of degrees. While Saturn solidifies, Neptune dissolves. Saturn demands that you pay attention to the rules, the protocol, and Neptune deepens your intuition and your urge to lead. Neptune will be in Aries for 14 years. The solar eclipse at Aquarius on the 17th happens in your 6th house, daily work and health. These eclipses bring doubled the new opportunities, so it's likely the ones that surface will be related to your work and how you maintain your health. However, Uranus in Taurus squares the eclipse degree, so before you pursue any of these opportunities, research them to make sure they aren't scams. The first retro of the year begins at 10:48 p.m. on February 25th Pacific time, and on the 26th at 1:48 a.m. Eastern. It's in Pisces. It ends on March 20th. This takes place in your 7th house, the partnership area, so you and your personal and professional partners are likely to miscommunicate. Take nothing for granted. Check on appointments. Don't sign contracts or move. Also, follow the rule of the 3 R's: revise, review, and reconsider. The other date to watch for this month is the 27th, 28th, when Mercury retro in Pisces conjuncts Venus. Honestly, it might be a good day to go solo and do something you enjoy. Let your creative drive relax for a day. Libra. The full moon in fire sign Leo on the 1st takes place in your 11th house. Your air sign is compatible with this fire sign Libra, and today it illuminates your network, your wishes, and dreams. It enables you to see how far you've come and the distance you still have to go, or whether you prefer to stay right where you are. After all, not everyone aspires to be an influencer or famous in some way. However, when life feels balanced, it's fine to stay where you are. But this move may make you feel you're not up to snuff in some way. Ignore that and keep moving forward at your own pace, Libra. When Saturn enters Aries on the 13th, it will eventually oppose every Libra. It's in your 7th house of personal and professional partnerships, which may be an issue if the partner decides to exert leadership over some part of your life. On February 20th, the picture gets more complicated. Neptune joins Saturn in Aries at 0 degrees and 45 minutes for the first time since 1703. Be vigilant that day. The solar eclipse in Aquarius on February 17th falls in your 5th house, so new opportunities will surface with your creativity, kids, romance, and what you do for fun and pleasure. However, Uranus and Taurus in your 8th house opposes the eclipse degree. This may bring a glitch of some sort to whatever surfaces. Be sure to research every opportunity. Be vigilant for scams. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. The first Mercury retrograde of the year in Pisces begins at 10:48 p.m. on February 25th Pacific Time, and on the 26th at 1:48 a.m. Eastern Time. It ends on March 20th, 12:33 p.m. Pacific and 3:33 p.m. Eastern. This occurs in your 6th house of daily work and health. By now, you probably know the drill on these retrogrades. Don't sign contracts, don't submit anything new, and follow the rule of the 3 R's: review, revise, and reconsider. On the 27th, 28th, Mercury retro Pisces conjuncts Venus. This could indicate tension or issues with a female coworker, boss, colleague, or client, or with a creative endeavor. Scorpio. The full moon in Leo on the 1st takes place in your career area. Combined with your Scorpio sun, this probably will result in stubbornness on your part today. The full moon illuminates your profession and career, and it's easier for you to see what's working and what isn't. You should also have a clear idea of whether your current profession is what you want to keep doing. If it isn't, start laying out a strategy, Scorpio, for what you would love to do. Saturn enters Aries on the 13th in your house of daily work and health. You may feel compelled to take more of a leadership role in your day-to-day work. There also will be greater emphasis on following rules and protocol. Once Neptune joins Saturn in Aries on the 20th, life is likely to feel, stranger initially. This conjunction at 0 degrees and 45 minutes of Aries hasn't happened since 1703, so keep notes. Your intuition may deepen and lead you into newer, untapped areas. Before this conjunction on the 17th, there's a solar eclipse in Aquarius in your 4th house of home, family, and personal environment. Uranus in Taurus opposes the eclipse degree, and that may toss a glitch into the opportunities that surface. Possibilities: you find a place to move, get an offer on your home if it's for sale, discover that you and your partner are going to become parents, an adult child moves in or out, or aging parents move in or out. The opposition warns you to be vigilant for scams. The first Mercury retrograde of the year begins on February 25th Pacific Time and on the 26th Eastern Time in Pisces in your 5th house. A retro in this house can be troubling regardless of your sun sign because it impacts what you do for fun and pleasure. Miscommunication is likely with your kids, your muse, your romantic partner. For a smoother time, follow the rules of the 3 R's: review, revise, and reconsider. It ends on March 20th. On the 27th and 28th, there's a conjunction between Mercury retro and Venus. Be sure to listen to your intuition today. If possible, make it a solar day or a day with your beloved dog or cat or other pet. That way, the only chance of saying something unforgivable stays with you and your pet. It's safer. Sagittarius. You'll like the activity in fellow fire signs this month, Sag, starting with the full moon in Leo on the 1st. It takes place in your 9th house and stirs up your desire for foreign travel. If you have a favorite spot somewhere abroad, make that your destination. Or maybe you've had your eye on grad school or law school. If so, indulge yourself and apply. In other words, follow your hunches. On the 13th, Saturn enters fellow fire sign Aries and will be there for the next 2.5 years in your 5th house. All sorts of positive things may come from this as long as you follow the protocols, the rules. Your creative project sells, you and your partner start a family, you quit your job to become self-employed. It all depends on what you hope to manifest. The solar eclipse in Aquarius on the 17th takes place in your third house. Uranus in Taurus squares it. The possible opportunities that surface may be a move to a new neighborhood, you update your electronic equipment, finish a book or script you've been working on, or start a podcast. This eclipse is mostly about new opportunities for communication. But due to the opposition, be sure the opportunities are legitimate and not scams. On February 20th, the conjunction of Saturn and Neptune at 0 degrees 45 minutes Aries hasn't happened since 1703. Neptune will remain in Aries for the next 14 years, and your intuition is likely to deepen considerably. But so will your need to take a leadership role of some kind in your creative work. If, for instance, you've been working with a partner, you may strike out on your own. Take note of what you feel and experience on and around that date. The first Mercury retrograde of the year in Pisces starts in the Pacific time zone on February 25th and in the Eastern time zone on the 26th. It will occur in your fourth house. Miscommunication of one kind or another definitely rules these retro periods. Try to communicate clearly, especially with family members, and take nothing for granted. For a smoother navigation until March 20th, when Mercury turns direct, follow the rule of the 3 R's: revise, review, and reconsider. On the 27th, 28th, Mercury retro and Pisces and Venus are conjunct. It might be a good day to keep your distance from people, to go solo and do something you enjoy. Capricorn. The abundance of fire stuff this month probably won't be to your liking, Capricorn. And it's also a Mercury retro month. On the 1st, the full moon in Leo happens in your 8th house on your financial axis. It lights up areas like credit, mortgages, insurance, what you earn from investments, royalties. Nothing adverse, but there are a bunch of planets in Aquarius, your second house of income. So pay attention to your money today and ask yourself how you can make more. On the 13th, Saturn enters Aries, your fourth house, and moves through it for the next 2.5 years. You may feel the urge to move, to change everything in your home, redo the place from the roof to the floors. At the time, the urge will feel impractical, and whether or not you proceed depends on your finances. The solar eclipse in Aquarius on the 17th occurs in your second house of income, and Uranus in Taurus squares it. So new opportunities for increasing your income surface on or around this eclipse. But because the square is coming from Uranus in your 5th house, be particularly vigilant about creative opportunities if you work in a creative field. Make sure they aren't scams. The 20th brings a rare event. Saturn and Neptune are conjunct in Aries at 0 degrees 45 minutes. This hasn't happened since 1703. Neptune will be in Aries for the next 14 years, exerting influence on your home and family life throughout. Conjunct with Saturn, your intuition comes up against authority and its rules, and you probably don't like it. You've got your own ideas on these areas, but take note of how you feel of events, and if your right and left brains are arguing. On the 25th Pacific time and the 26th Eastern time, Mercury retro kicks off in Pisces in your 3rd house, in the house of communication, just where you don't want to be. It exacerbates the usual miscommunication that accompanies any retrograde. Don't get into arguments with neighbors, siblings, friends, family. And definitely follow the rule of the 3 R's: revise, review, and reconsider. This sucker doesn't end until March 20th. Sigh. On the 27th, 28th, Mercury on Pisces conjuncts Venus. I'm advising most people to go solo today. With Venus in this picture, the chance of offending someone, or of you being offended, are high. You're better off if you get off by yourself and do whatever it is you enjoy. Aquarius. The full moon in Leo on the 1st happens in your 7th house, personal and professional partnerships. It illuminates what works in these relationships and what doesn't. Unresolved issues may surface, and if possible, resolve them now. On the 13th, Saturn enters Aries in your 3rd house and will remain there for the next 2.5 years. This transit may change how you communicate with more certainty with a leadership quality. You may find that you're more aware of rules or protocols, which probably chafes at your sense of freedom. The solar eclipse in your sign on the 17th should bring new opportunities into your personal life. These can be virtually anything from a new relationship to a new home to pregnancy or professional triumph. But Uranus and Taurus squares the eclipse degree, so there could be an unforeseen issue. Be vigilant for possible scams. On February 20th, Saturn and Neptune are conjunct at Aries at 0 degrees 45 minutes. It's the degrees here that count, and the fact that Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. This hasn't happened since 1703, so be alert to what you feel and experience during this conjunction. The dichotomy here is that Saturn solidifies and Neptune dissolves. Your intuition is likely to deepen considerably, so pay close attention to your hunches. The first Mercury retro of the year begins on the February 25th Pacific time and on the 26th Eastern time. It's in Pisces. It ends on March 20th. Since this retro falls in your second house of income, pay close attention to what you earn, spend, and save. Be alert for fraud and unexplained purchases. Miscommunication flourishes during these retros, so communicate clearly and take nothing for granted. To navigate this period more smoothly, follow the rules of the 3 R's: revise, review, and reconsider. The other date to watch for this month is the 27th, 28th, when Mercury retro in Pisces conjuncts Venus. This should be a day when you and your creative muse collaborate. Instead, your muse is rebelling and pouting, so take the day off. Get out and enjoy yourself. Pisces. The full moon in Leo on the 1st occurs in your 6th house. Your daily work and how you maintain your health on a daily basis are illuminated, and this enables you to pinpoint what works and what doesn't. If unresolved issues surface, try to resolve them so they don't keep pursuing you. On the 13th, Saturn enters Aries in your second house of income. You may see a way forward to earn more money this year, so create your strategy and go for it, Pisces. You'll get help from Neptune on the 20th when it joins Saturn in Aries, and the two are conjunct at 0 degrees and 45 minutes. The 0 degrees is significant here, the beginning of the degrees, just as Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. This hasn't happened since 1703. Neptune will be in Aries for 14 years, Saturn for the next 2.5. Your intuition will be stronger or more forceful, so pay attention to it. Before the 20th, though, on the 17th, there's a solar eclipse in Aquarius in your 12th house. New opportunities surface to work behind the scenes in some capacity: producer, ghostwriter, tutor, psychic, in whatever your expertise and talents are. Uranus and Taurus squares the eclipse degree, though, so be sure to research these opportunities before you select one, just to be sure they aren't scams. The first Mercury retro of the year begins on February 25th Pacific time and on the 26th Eastern sign. It's in your sign, Pisces. It ends on March 20th. Whenever there's a Mercury retro in your sign, things go haywire quickly. Your computer develops a mind of its own. Miscommunication flourishes. You miss appointments. Don't sign contracts or make travel plans during this period. Follow the rule of the 3 R's: review, revise, and reconsider. On the 27th, 28th, when Mercury retro in Pisces conjuncts Venus, there's one word for this one: ugh. Take the day off. Forget work. Go solo. Do something you love.
Thanks for joining the Mystical Underground. Visit www.themysticalunderground.com for the latest blog post and book info. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Listen to the podcast at podcast.themysticalunderground.com. Follow Trish and Rob on Instagram at Trish and Rob MacGregor. Follow us on Twitter at TheMysticCast. Send email to podcast@themysticalunderground.com. And until next week, thank you for listening and stay mystical.